Welcome back to the Everyday Faith Podcast from Eastside with today's faith-rooted principle. Hey there, welcome back. I'm Isaac Johnson. Today is Wednesday, August the 12th. Hope that you have a fantastic day today. And our rooted principle for today is this: utterly reject any sin that tempts you today so that it will not carve pain and tragedy into your life. That's an interesting statement to think about, how that sin carves pain and tragedy into your life. But really, the idea is this, that sin has lasting impact. Sin has consequences. Sin will carve pain. Sin will carve tragedy into your life. And it's been true since the beginning. Jeremiah chapter number 17, we see a very vivid picture of this. Jeremiah 17 verse 1, it says, "The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron." Then it goes on to say this, "and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their hearts." This is talking about the sin of Judah. Again, it's written with a pen of iron, with the point of a diamond, graven upon the table of their hearts, and upon the horns of your altars, whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasure to the spoil, and thy high places for sin, throughout all thy borders. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. All because of sin. All of these things, the spoils, thy treasures are going to become as spoils, and thy high places are made for sin throughout all your borders, and thou shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Those promises, they're going to be discontinued, all because of this sin of Judah. And the very first part, the very first verse, verse 1, has something very interesting to say there. Jeremiah 17:1, it says, "The sins of Judah were written with a pen of iron, with a point of a diamond." Think about diamonds with me for just a moment, if you would. Diamonds are the hardest natural mineral that's known to man. In fact, the word diamond comes from the Greek word that means unbreakable. And though we often associate diamonds with jewelry, and diamonds are commonly used also for industrial purposes. There's diamond blades that are used for cutting, and their hardness makes them valuable. They cut, they etch, they grind surfaces. They use diamonds for many different things. When the Bible speaks of sin being written with diamonds, what it's describing, I believe, is the lasting mark that sin leaves on our lives. Yes, we can be forgiven. Yes, Jesus said that our sins will be cast as far as the east is from the west, to be remembered no more, but sin has a lasting effect. God is merciful. He's forgiving, but his forgiveness does not erase all the consequences of sin that we experience. The scars cut deep like that diamond, and they engrave like that diamond. When Satan tempts us, he never shows the full picture. You know, that's why the Bible tells us, Hebrews 11:25, that there's pleasures of sin for a season. He attempts to hide the final consequences of sin and the final consequences of turning from God. And it's impossible for us to choose or limit the consequences of sin. We don't have power over the consequences of sin. And once we've chosen the wrong path, as Proverbs 16:25 says, the end thereof are the ways of death. Listen, the only way to avoid this engraving of consequences of sin in our life is to resist temptation. Resisting temptation protects you. It protects those that you love from the consequences of sin. Again, today's rooted principle: utterly reject any sin that tempts you today, so that it will not carve pain and tragedy into your life. Thanks for joining us for today's Rooted Principle right here on the Everyday Faith Podcast. If today's conversation has encouraged you, be sure to share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time right here on the Everyday Faith Podcast.